Hello everybody, I'm back with another video for you today, and we have another legendary tier list of mine. Today we're going to be talking all about digital card games, even some that are no longer with us, unfortunately. And bear in mind, these are only games that I've played. I know there are more card games out there. These are the most popular ones though, these are the ones that matter. I've played them, so they're the only important ones here, okay? Mythgard, whatever, Gods Unchained, Cards, CCG, I'm sure they're great. But they don't have a place in this video, I'm sad to say. So, let's get started with the juggernaut of digital card gaming. It is Hearthstone. Everyone's heard of this game. It's the most popular digital card game. For good reason. It paved the way in terms of having online, playing against other players, card collection. Magic the Gathering, of course, was around before Hearthstone, and I'm sure many other card games were, but nothing had really innovated in terms of the digital space in the way that Hearthstone did. So I think for that reason it deserves some respect. A lot of the mechanics that are now in card games that we play today, have some similarities with Hearthstone. Some of the other ones on this list share similarities with Hearthstone, so it's respectable. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of it these days. Don't really want to get into it, no motivation. I would put it lower, but just because it's got that sheer fame factor, it really built this genre from the ground up, essentially. So I think for that reason, we're going to throw it in C tier. It is the average. It is what you should aim for if you're making a card game, at least. You should be doing what Hearthstone's done, the positives, I should say, of Hearthstone, hopefully without any of the drawbacks, the grindiness, the pay-to-win kind of, all the complaints that Hearthstone has. I'm sure some of you know those in more detail than I do. Personally, I just haven't. It just doesn't appeal to me these days very much. Okay, next up we have The Elder Scrolls Legends. This was a pretty interesting game. It's sadly very dead, which is surprising given it was supported by Bethesda, who made many huge games. Skyrim, which we're actually listening to in the background right now because I kind of felt like it. But yeah, this game was pretty decent. I played a little bit of it. It didn't hook me in a huge way, but it had some nice single-player content, some interesting mechanics, slight differences with Hearthstone, but otherwise quite similar. Yeah, I don't know why this game failed, because it was pretty decent in all honesty. Maybe some of you have more information on it. I think it deserves to go in C tier along with Hearthstone over here. Didn't do anything particularly great, I think, but it was a decent game in its own right, and yeah. Next up, we've got Legends of Runeterra, most recent of the card games on the list here. And yeah, just powerhouse of Riot Games behind it, League of Legends as the theme. I've played quite a bit of Runeterra actually. Personally, I can't say I'm a huge fan of it. It's an okay game, I can't grind it out, I can't really enjoy the mechanics. After playing other card games, I don't know, Runeterra to me feels like a combination of the good things about Magic and the good things about Hearthstone kind of blended together. There's some nice mechanics in there, but nothing really incredibly new. You've got champions, I guess, and evolving, the way the cards evolve in a sense as the game progresses, which is quite interesting. But, you're then missing certain mechanics that could be found in stuff like Magic or even Artifact, which we'll get onto talking about in a second here. But yeah, I would say Runeterra doesn't do anything amazingly, or rather it doesn't do anything new, anything super innovative, but it is a decent, solid card game. It's very fair in terms of economy as well. So for that reason, I'm going to throw this guy in B tier. I think that's where Runeterra deserves to be. No pun intended. Next up, Artifact. Artifact. What a spicy meme. Incredible. This game was actually pretty decent, despite the horrendous monetization of it, and there were definitely some downsides with the mechanics. It was quite random, it was very complicated, and yeah, quite difficult to get into. The monetization absolutely killed it though. I fucking spent like an obscene amount of money on this game before I realised, oh wait, it's actually dying, and it's dead on arrival pretty much. I spent, must have been like $300, $400 on this, so that was a pretty bad investment, let me tell you that. But no, Artifact as a game, I'm going to judge it just purely on the gameplay here. It was decent. It was decent fun. It was very grindable. It felt, the draft mode was so good for Artifact. The constructed, definitely less so, but there was something about the, I don't know, the aesthetic of this game and the way it played out. It was very different to other card games. It actually tried to simulate the feel of a MOBA, you know, when you're damaging towers and killing minions. I think that's commendable. Like, no other card game's done that. It felt very unique and interesting as a result. So for that reason, Artifact goes into A tier. It's an A tier game. A for Artifact, okay? Actually a good game. Failed miserably because of the monetization, but is what it is. Decent card game. Next we have Magic the Gathering. This might be my most controversial rating. I know a lot of people like Magic. I played Magic when I was a kid. I played with my friends with cards at school and had some great times with it, but I think that's what Magic is supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be a physical card game. I think it's implemented in the digital world very poorly. Not just that, but like the downsides and the flaws with the Magic mechanics really become quite obvious when you're playing Magic Arena, for example. That's what I personally think. I'm a huge, like I really despise the land mechanic when it comes to draw RNG. You've already got card games like Hearthstone which rely on you drawing a curve of cards, you know, your mana cost. You want cards to be played as soon as, you know, you achieve the right amount of mana to cast them. Magic throws in the land system into that, where you might even not draw your mana, which is just horribly frustrating. Like, card games already have a lot of random elements, and Magic to me just feels so Now I know a lot of people go, yeah, but you can put a certain amount of land in your deck to obfuscate it. It's fine, like, you have a bit of control over that. It's better for the deck building. Nah, I don't care about that. Teppen, which we'll get on to talking about, has the pros of the Magic land system without any of the bloody nonsense with random RNG factors, okay? Also, I think there's just a ton of like balance problems with this game. They're often like making quite strong cards, right? To sell the sets, and then they have to rebalance, but because it's also a physical card game, how do you rebalance the digital, you know, when the physical is also a thing? You can't just take people's cards back and reprint them, kind of. You get what I'm saying? So there's a bit of a problem there, inherent for Magic in a digital platform. So for that reason, I'm going to put Magic in E tier. I kind of, at this point in time, I actually despise Magic. I could not play this game. If someone forced me to do it, I would just be like, dude, take me out. No, I'd rather not. That might be controversial. I know some of you probably big Magic fans, but I think the flaws outweigh the pros when it comes to that game. Alright, next we've got, well, actually two of my favourite card games ever, Teppen and Gwent. You may not have heard of Teppen. It's quite popular in Japan, and it's sort of a real-time card game. You play cards and they're sort of attacking each other in real time, almost like a... God, I don't know how to describe it, but it's sort of... It most similarly feels like a beat-em-up. Is that the word? I don't know. Where you have fucking... a fighting game. God, my fucking brain is short-circuiting here. When you're, you know, one person versus one person, two characters. This is, you know, Tekken, right? Tekken. You've got a similar concept there. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I urge you to look up some Teppen gameplay. It's actually a fascinating game. I love the mechanics behind it. Very unique. A blast to play. You're basically playing cards, blocking the opponent's cards in real time as you play them, so there's some element of you have to be fast, you have to have fast reflexes, as well as deck building, and of course just playing your cards at the right time. So Teppen for me is a mechanically beautiful game. Monetization is okay. Not the most popular game. It's quite popular in Japan, as I said, but in the West, not so much. But Teppen, my dad plays Teppen, guys. Like, Teppen, my dad has been like addicted to Teppen for months. That's a testament to, yeah, just how accessible and how interesting the game is. So, S tier for Teppen. Maybe a surprising one for you guys, but actual, you know, great card game. And now we come on to the final card game here. Yes, Gwent, the Witcher card game, which, of course, I am not in any way biased towards or against. I've barely played any Gwent. Now, obviously, I've played Gwent for getting on for, I guess, 4 years, 3 years, 4 years, I don't know. A large amount of my life, a large percentage of my life has been spent playing Gwent, participating in tournaments, making videos, for that reason, I mean, where should Gwent go? I mean, I have to put it in S. If I was playing any other card game for this long, I would actually have lost my sanity a long time ago. I just wouldn't be here. So I think the fact that I'm still making Gwent videos is a real testament to just the beauty of Gwent. It's just unlike any other card game. Yes, it's sort of become more like things like Hearthstone and Magic as time has gone on. That's the direction the game has chosen to go in, but deep down, the core mechanics of Gwent will always, I think, be quite different to a lot of other card games, especially all the ones on this list. So, that's my tier list. Let me know what you think, if you disagree, agree with any of these, if you've played any more where you think they would fit in. Where does Mythgard go, for example? Is it an S tier? I don't know, I haven't tried it. You may actually know more than I do about this, so yeah. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'm looking forward to making some new types of content here and on my second channel as well. Check that out in the description if you want some extra spicy content and not just Gwent gameplay. That being said, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.